Hey everyone, I'm Connor,
And I'm Matt.
and this is Discography Draft. Hey Matt, how are you?
Doing well. Doing well.
Well, that's good to hear.
Maybe all too well.
Oh, the big spoiler. Well, hello everyone. If this is your first time tuning into Discography Draft, on this show, Matt and I discuss the albums and artists that have had a lasting impact on our lives, and then we take two albums for one artist, we discuss them, figure out which one's the best, and then we take all the songs from those two albums, throw them into a draft pool, and we each draft 10 songs with the hopes of creating the ultimate roster, if you will. And then we post those rosters anonymously on Instagram, so that way you don't know whose it is, and we just want you to just objectively tell us which one's best. So no playing favorites, unless it's with the music, in which case that's the point.
Yeah.
Well, so on our most recent episode of Discography Draft, we discussed Drake's Take Care and Nothing Was the Same albums. And, well, we had a little draft, and I was surprised at how close it was.
I was not.
Oh.
I was not. I know it came down to one pick for me, and I know which one it was. I didn't take Heifer a little earlier when I could have.
You could have.
I know.
Well, and as a result of that, I won 56% to 44%. Which means Matt and I are tied at 2-2-1 so far. So how about that? Look at us. Well, so on this episode, a little curveball. Ordinarily, we talk about artists that have had a lasting impact on our lives. For this one, for me in particular, not sure about you, this person has not had a lasting impact on my life. In fact, I had to muster the will to do this one. Today, the artist is Taylor Swift, of no relation to Stromile Swift,
Ooh.
former Memphis Grizz.
I loved it when he did the little butterfly thing, for a celebration. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that couldn't have been louder. Okay.
It was actually my youngest brother's favorite player. But yeah, no relation.
Yeah. Well, so we're doing Taylor Swift, and more specifically, we're doing her Red and 1989 albums. Now, going into this, we were both pretty sure that we wanted to do Red. And then it came down to, well, should we do 1989, Folklore, whatever other albums there are? So we put out a little a question on Instagram, and y'all decided on 1989. That was actually a pretty overwhelming vote. It was like 75% wanted 1989. Pretty crazy.
Disappointed in the fans. Not mad. Just
disappointed. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not. I wanted 1989. So let's get into this. Okay, so Red was released on October 22nd, 2012. Where are you at in your life?
Senior year, man. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was in my first dating relationship. And I remember this came out, senior year of high school. Broke up not too long after. I want to say it was maybe first week November or something like that. Somewhere in there. It was around Halloween. But
Wow, that would have been like a week later.
I know. So this one, I vividly remember. Hey, the fans want the transparency; they'll get it at my expense. So I vividly remember this coming out and fresh off the breakup, dating this girl who went to our rival high school, and how timely of this. We actually just played them in football and beat them, which is crazy. But anyways, besides that, I just remember being in the gym thinking like, all right, basketball season's coming up, working extra hard. She's going to regret the day, and I'm going to show out when we play them. And I just remember bumping, we are never getting back together.
Well, before I tell you where I was in my life when this album came out, I need to tell you, and by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up our sponsors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll look there yet. As always, we have Propel, specifically the powder packs. I mean, that's that if you're looking to save money and drink something nice and smooth, get you some powder packs of Propel. That's an alliteration if I've ever heard it.
Not too sugary either.
No, not at all. Number 2, I mean, the premier movie watching eating candy is Bunch of Crunch. We love it. I actually had to make a little jaunt over to the Dollar Tree right before this because I realized I ate all the ones I had.
It's a positive problem to have.
I know. Hey, Bunch of Crunch, send us some. Number 3 is Bath and Body Works Mahogany Teakwood Candle. Couldn't be a better smell.
Pleasing.
Very pleasing. Very masculine. But a sensitive masculine. Number 4 is Hyper Ice's Hypervolt. I mean, you got knots. Put a knot under one of these guys, and that thing's going away real quick.
It's a punishing recovery.
It is. It's one of those ones where like you let yourself have it, and it hurts, but you can feel that it's a productive pain, is what I call it. You're like, all right, this is doing something. It's uncomfortable, but it's not like, oh, something's wrong, uncomfortable. Unless there is. Unless you're actually putting it on your spine, which sometimes happens.
It could be wrong in that sense. But look at you with the alliterations. Productive.
Popping the peas.
Yeah. Popping the
peas. For a real...
Continuation with the alliteration. Ooh.
Okay. Wow. I mean, we're something else. And then our newest sponsor, and I alluded to this last week, and I was pretty confident we'd get them, but couldn't know for sure. Tushy Bidets. I mean, this is the greatest purchase I've ever made in my entire life, bar none. There is no turning back. It's like when you finally get the rear view camera on the backup camera for a vehicle, and then it's like you start backing out of parking spots, and then it's like you get into someone else's car, you're driving someone else's car, you got a rental for some reason, and it doesn't have the camera, and you're like, oh, I have to turn around. This is so like third world having to do it this way. But Tushy Bidets, I mean, come on. You want to wet your whistle? You want to save a ton of money on toilet paper? Get you one of these guys. This is, by the way, my go-to gift for people who get married.
Me, guilty.
This actually is yours.
Oh, gosh.
So if you hurry up, well, you can get me one of these.
Yeah, Sid, I may break it in before. We'll see. All that to say, stop wiping and start washing your tushy.
Well, I mean, you still have to like wipe after. Dry it. It's more of a dry off.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah. Big tushy guy over here. Now, here we go. All right, so red.
Yeah, where were you in the world?
Okay, so October 22nd, 2012, I was in my junior year at UF. I remember this coming out because I remember like all of like the girl friends that I had in my life, and then some of the guy friends were like up in arms about how good this album was. And they're like, we got to go to Target. We got to buy the CD. Because 2012, it's still, people are still buying CDs. And so I remember that specifically. And I have never been a Taylor Swift guy. The music just didn't really speak to me. I quite frankly thought it was like, oh, this is music for women, which is like kind of true for the most part. I mean, it's not incorrect. So I never really gave it the time of day, other than the fact that as we were going through these two albums and making our big board, I'm not kidding, I have heard at least 15 of these songs before, which is unprecedented for someone who doesn't listen to Taylor Swift. But it's like she's so big that it's like even if you wanted to escape it, you couldn't. And I also used to DJ for a lot of the dance parties that the crew, the ministry I was in at UF. I was the DJ for a lot of that. And this was always like heavily requested. It was like Taylor Swift, I Knew You Were Trouble, Bad Blood, which is on 1989, Shake It Off. All those ones were just huge, and you couldn't get around it. So I frankly don't really have a relationship with either of these albums up until this past week, and we'll discuss that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, there were 7 singles from Red. You got We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, Begin Again, I Knew You Were Trouble, 22, Red, Everything Has Changed, and The Last Time.
You forgot one single, the artist who wrote all of the songs too, because it sounds like she was fresh off a breakup.
Oh, okay.
8 singles, even though 7 are on the album.
Man, you're so clever. 8 singles. All right. Well, also, this is a timely episode because in about a month, Taylor's version of Red is scheduled to drop, which is... You're familiar with this whole Taylor's version thing?
No.
Okay. So there's this controversy about like the masters, like the master version of her music, that like Scooter Braun acquired the record label Big Machine. And as a part of that, he got the masters to the first 6 studio albums by Taylor Swift, who ended her contract with Big Machine in 2018. So it was this whole... long story short is Taylor Swift is now re-recording those albums and releasing them like under... like she now has the masters of these and she's releasing them on Spotify and wherever. And I think she's already done it with Fearless. But this is the next one that's supposed to happen is Red. And that way she has like full ownership of her music.
Gotcha.
So,
I was about to ask what's the purpose of it. But
so
yes.
they will both, like the original version and Taylor's version of the albums will both still be available on Spotify and all the other platforms. But all of Taylor Swift's fans are encouraging other Taylor Swift fans to, when you're listening to these songs, when all these Taylor's version albums come out, to listen to Taylor's version so she's the one who's getting
the money. Yeah. Have you ever seen the breakdown of the cost for Spotify?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. Talk about the next thing until I find this. But
all right.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So Red, let's see. It's 7 times platinum. It has sold 8 million copies worldwide. Spent 7 weeks atop the U.S. Billboard 200, which meant that Taylor Swift is the first female artist and the second act since the Beatles to have 3 consecutive albums that spent at least 6 weeks at number 1. It's a pretty substantial deal. So let's get into the old Metacritic of it all. So what do you think Metacritic gave Red?
We'll go, with that description you just said, we'll go 90. We're still waiting for the first 90.
We are still waiting for the first 90. That is correct. Metacritic gave this a 77.
Jeez.
So John Dolan from Rolling Stone said that Taylor Swift's autobiographical lyrics, which are depicted in songs that, quote, linger on like tattoos. Pitchfork's Brad Nelson said that the album is Swift's fully realized effort as a versatile songwriter who explored her deeper observations and perspectives. And it is to my understanding. Now, again, I'm no like big Taylor Swift connoisseur, but that her music from before Red aired on the side of like country-ish.
Yep.
With like a little bit of pop involved.
Mm-hmm.
My very first experience with Taylor Swift was Love Story,
Mm-hmm.
which came out in like 2009. And I actually liked that song a lot. It was very, very catchy. But this is, as I was listening to this one, you can tell like there's a little bit of like old Taylor, if you will, and then like as she's becoming super mainstream, that there's some like pop kind of vibes to this album. And then 1989, which we'll get into, is like the transition is complete.
Mm-hmm.
So Metacritic gave it a 77. And what were you going to tell me about Spotify streams?
Yeah, so it's 4 cents per 10 streams. So basically, 100,000 streams will get you $400. So keep that in perspective of some of these ridiculous amount. They were saying that essentially you'd need 300 streams per month to make a decent wage, because it's about $1,200. But $1,200.
300 streams.
300,000. Sorry, 300,000 streams per month to make a decent wage as an artist.
Off of just Spotify.
Yeah,
but
just Spotify.
I mean, they make their money on tours for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. What I did know was that people were trying to stream a bunch of Nelly songs to help him pay off some debts. It was like there's this big movement about it a few years ago.
Classic
Really
Nelly.
funny. I know. Way to just galvanize the country in a positive way, Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
Such an impact. Okay, so 1989. This was released October 27th, 2014. So this was the album right after Red, and it came out almost 2 years to the day after. So where were you at in your life when this came out?
I was, I guess, a sophomore in college, living in the frat house.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't think this music was really played ever in that place, and that's probably why I never heard it. And I think I go through and document artists, and really the first time kind of listening to this was probably maybe a year or a year and a half ago, when I spent a long time documenting Taylor Swift music, which songs I liked, whatever. So yeah, there's no ties to it. That's it.
So for me, I was entering my final year of undergrad, my super senior year. And I had just come back from 6 weeks in Paris that summer. And I remember, okay, so Shake It Off was the first single off this album. It was released August of 2014. And so it was 2 months after I got back from Paris. And I remember the first thing I DJ'd for crew that in that fall semester was a little thing called Thrift Shop Dance Party.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. That's like one of our weeks of welcome events, or whatever you call it.
That shocks me. You're just not a big Mackmore guy, but you love the thrift shop theme, though. Moving on.
So Shake It Off came out the week of that dance party.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you like you were there. You remember.
In spirit.
You remember Florida. So I remember this song came out, and it was like I was DJing that, and like everyone was like, play Shake It Off, play Shake It Off, play Shake It Off. I was like, no, fine. And I play it, and then everyone lost their mind. And I hate being wrong about this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I don't know. But I'll tell you this. I'll just say it. I think I'm a Taylor guy now.
Wow, in a week. And you actually finished your big board in a day.
I did. Yeah, I cranked out both of these albums in one day. There was some tweaking afterwards, with a few spots on the thing, but I generally had like all right, I think I have the general sense of what this big board should look like after the first day. In part because as I was going through it, like, oh, I've heard all these songs before and had no idea that they were all off of these 2 albums. Like, I Knew You Were Trouble. I thought that song came out like 3 years before it did. I thought that song came out when I was in high school, and it came out, I was in the middle of college. So 1989 also had 7 singles. Shake It Off, Blank Space, Style, Bad Blood, Wildest Dreams, Out of the Woods, and New Romantics. So 1989 has sold over 10 million copies worldwide. It's 9 times platinum. I mean, the list goes on and on. Spent 11 weeks, topped the Billboard 200. So that Rolling Stone 2020 revision of their 500 greatest albums of all time that we talked about last time. It is, well, it's not telling me what the spot it was, but that it appeared on it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's up there. And then in the Grammys in 2016, it won Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album, and which meant that Taylor Swift was the first female solo artist to win Album of the Year twice. Came a long way from the whole Kanye interruption thing.
I was literally just looking up the date of that because I wanted to make some type of joke, but spoiler, I don't think I'll be able to now. I was just curious of when it actually happened.
I mean, if the spirit moves you to make the joke at some point before we're done recording, you make that joke.
Just curious when that did happen.
I thought that was like 2011. It
2009.
2009. Oh, it was after Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that's so long ago.
Yeah. I was like, that's what I thought. I thought it was a lot later than what it was. And I was like, I definitely wanted to make sure on the date. But yeah, 2009.
I'm going to let you finish.
But Beyonce had one of the best songs of all time.
It's like, okay.
That's peak Kanye.
It's so funny to think about, like, Taylor Swift back then in 2009. She wasn't like, I don't think she was a huge deal yet.
No, she'd only dropped her Taylor Swift album and Fearless, and that's it.
Yeah, so it's so, and also to think of Kanye now too. Mm-hmm. Totally, far both of those people have come in like a wide variety of ways. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Metacritic, what do you think they gave 1989? So remember, they gave Red 77.
Yeah, I think this may be her most critically acclaimed album. So I'm going to say 84.
They gave it a 76.
Wow.
Some people have called it commercialized pop, perfectly attuned 1980s styled synth pop authenticity. This is a full blown pop album now. Mm-hmm. It's like the country part of her is like, it's holding on by a thread, but you can tell she's like kind of transitioned what like her style is. Mm-hmm.
Which is honestly kind of crazy. Taylor, I feel like, has rebranded herself multiple times with each album. Mm-hmm. And it just is very interesting that it's still all very similar, but in the grand scheme of things is very different. Everyone's always looking for what's the new version, or what's this new I guess stage that they're going to enter into that keeps them wanting more, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's right. So speaking of wanting more, I want some more draft. So let's draft.
Draft.
There we go. Okay. For those of you who haven't seen this before, Matt and I do a snake draft. We're going to flip a virtual coin which Matt is 0-5.
Bitcoin,
Yeah.
to be precise.
Yes. And whoever wins this coin toss gets to choose if they want the first pick or the second and third picks. And when we go through this draft, we don't draft our favorite songs in order of, like, number one is my favorite song, so let me draft it number one.
Selfless.
This is a selfless draft, and we're trying to appease the masses and create the best overall roster, regardless of our thoughts on it. So, being that I won last time, that means you get to flip this coin this time.
Tails never fails.
All right, here we go. Oh, it's heads.
I literally don't understand.
Can we hang on? Let's do a little
Permutations, combinations type deal?
like a 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2.
Probabilities, yeah. Permutations, combinations, all that good stuff.
So 2 to the 6th is 64. So so far you've had a 1 in 64 chance, if that math makes sense. I think it does.
That I've ended up in, like, not
That
getting it.
this outcome of having not
0 and
won
6,
this
yeah.
coin toss 6 straight times, 1 in 64.
Which is an extremely low percentage.
Indeed. I wouldn't ask you to run those numbers.
No.
Nor would I expect you to be able to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, in that case, I suppose. Oh gosh, this is hard to figure out if I want number one or not. But I think I do. And in fact, I will take number one.
Thank God. Because I refuse to pick Shake It Off. And that has to be the number one pick.
I mean, you played your hand.
Dude, that has to be the number one pick.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
All right. I'll take Shake It Off.
You know it does.
I know.
Did you have it as something different?
No, I had it number one, but
I would have probably still taken it, but I would have been really, really
so you would have lied?
Yeah, I would have been really sad in taking that.
Whew. I think there's a locked in number one and number two. And then I think it's like...
I'd say maybe top five. Maybe top five or six.
I'm saying there's like... Right. That, in my eyes, there is... Shake It Off is for sure number one. And then what I think you're going to take at number two, to me, is for sure number two.
I Knew You Were Trouble.
Is that what you're taking?
Yeah.
I thought that was something else.
All right, that one, and We Are Never Getting Back Together. Those are the top three.
Oh, interesting. So that's what you're taking?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that okay?
I'll allow it.
Yeah. Did you not have that as your top three?
I had those as 3 and 4.
Okay. Let me guess. 22's number. No, I don't know.
Okay. So
I don't know.
number 2 you took I Knew You Were Trouble. Number 3 you took We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. Which, by the way, I like those better than I like Shake It Off.
Thank goodness.
I would much rather listen to those than Shake It Off. With the number 4 pick, which is what I thought is the number 2 overall seed, is Blank Space.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Going heavy on the 1989. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm going to... All right. My number... So with the number 5 pick, I'm not going to take what I have as number 5. But we'll see. I'm going to take 22.
All right.
Which I had as number 6.
Okay. Let me strike that guy off. Alrighty. Yeah, we'll probably go with Bad Blood.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. I had that as number 7. It would be a different story if it was the Kendrick version.
We'll do Wildest Dreams.
Okay, that's what I had as number 5.
Okay.
I didn't want 3 1989 songs.
That's fair. That's fair. Like in that same regard, if you took 22, I was like, dang, now I'm already starting off with 3 straight 22s. if you
Red.
Yeah, or red, sorry, yeah. 3 straight 22s.
People are going to think you're a blood.
Yeah. I can just do the little hand symbol.
Yeah. It's like, as a matter of fact, I'm actually drafting all 1989s. I'm not blood.
Sick. So you're picking 1989, I'm picking red. Oh, sick.
Okay. All right. So that was the number 7 pick. So with number 8, I'm going to take Style, which is another 1989 song. You sound bummed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with the 9th pick, I'm going to take Everything Has Changed.
Oh.
With Ed
Eddie.
Sheeran.
Good old Ed. That was, hey, wait, you took that at 10?
That's number 9.
Okay.
So the 10th pick is yours.
10th is me. I think I'm going to go All Too Well.
Love it. Effing dang it, dude.
I have to. It's
yeah, I know.
Such a great
now,
song.
Now Sid's going to go 6-0 in voting for you. It's unbelievable. There's a collusion.
It actually is a great song, though.
I don't know.
Where did you have it? Where'd you have it on the big board, though?
I had it at 11.
Oh, so I actually had it at 10. Wait, I did just pick 10, right?
Yes. That was the 10th pick. This is All Too Well, I'll tell you, is probably my favorite song out of these 2 albums.
Same. Well, there's another one that we haven't gotten to yet that I won't spoil, but when we get there, we get there.
Okay. All right, number 11.
But All Too Well, she just is a great storyteller, you know?
All Too Well is a sad boy song.
It is. And I just love, okay, so definitely in like old hymns, I don't know if you know like the progression and how like writing.
Lay it on me.
They like it tries to resemble creation, fall, redemption, restoration, in like their, 4 stanzas or whatever.
Okay.
And I feel like I see like there's this progression in her writing, and you see it All Too Well does it really well. Does it all too well, actually. Right. But yeah, it actually has probably my favorite lyric on there too. And it says, "And you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest."
I thought about that one. That was like a top 3 lyric for me. I'll get to it later, but All Too Well I think is the one that has grown on me the most, in part because I hadn't even heard it prior to a week ago. Okay, I think it's your pick.
Yeah, so I'm going to go
11.
Man, I hate that it's like, all right, we'll do Clean.
Oh, okay.
Just because I want to get away from I don't know if I should have done that, but I think I messed up there. Yeah.
I had that as number 20.
Yeah, but it's more of I'm trying to get away from Red and diversify it a little bit.
Diversify your portfolio. Okay, so with number 12, I'll take Red.
That's literally the one I had that I was like not trying to pick, but I should have just taken it.
It's kind of this one has like that old Taylor kind of country-ish feel to it. That's why I like it. Okay, so that was number 12. Number 13. This is difficult. I'll take it. Out of the Woods. I hate this song. It's so repetitive. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out? It's like, no, you're not.
That's why I couldn't put it on the draft board, even though I think it was one of her big singles she dropped, right?
It's a single. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like I've heard it before. I think people like it.
I respect it. You do the things that I can't do.
Okay.
So I will go with then.
This is the 14th pick.
Yeah, New Romantics.
I freaking love that song.
Fantastic. And then I'm going to go with probably my second favorite song on, I guess, out of both albums, Sad, Beautiful, and Tragic.
Okay. I had that as 26.
26. I don't think it's a really popular one.
No, but I liked it.
That is like Sad Boy.
I mean,
E-boy.
you want to talk about like best song title?
Yes, most intriguing, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. It's a lot of oxymoron in there, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, with the 16th pick, I also absolutely hate this song.
Don't do it if you don't.
I have to take it. It's Welcome to New York.
I actually like that song. It's probably my favorite beat. Dun, dun,
It's
dun,
been
dun,
waiting for you. Welcome to
dun,
New
dun,
York.
dun, dun,
It's
dun,
like,
dun.
all right, fine.
Welcome to New York.
It's been waiting. I feel like that plays like when you get off a plane in New York. It's just
Dun, dun. Yeah,
programmed.
I really do like that song though. I'm sad that you don't like it. I could see it getting old real quick. So in terms of replay value, however, that is not something that's been played around me a ton to where it has not gotten old. So
Yeah.
it was
fine.
a good choice. Let me affirm you in that.
All right. Well, thanks. So with the 17th pick, I'm going to take Begin Again.
Good song. Good song. Good song.
Also, has my favorite lyric. I've been spending the last 8 months thinking all love ever does is break and burn and end, but on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again. Break and burn and end.
And then in the cafe, it just began again.
Sure.
There once was a man named Michael Finnegan. Had some. No, you remember where that's from? Cheaper by the Dozen. I don't know why that's stuck in my head.
Oh, I've seen that movie like once.
Okay.
That's so random.
I don't know. It just rhymed with begin again. Oh yeah, that's part of it.
Okay.
Begin again. Once was a man. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So what have I got now?
Number 18 and number 19.
All right. Well, I definitely am going to do State of Grace.
Okay, let me tell you something about that song. It's the first song on Red, so it was the first one of all these songs I listened to. I loved the beat on it, but I kept waiting for something to happen, and it just like nothing. I was waiting for this like pop, and it just didn't happen. And so I was like, oh, well, this song's not that great then.
That's fair. That's fair.
I feel like more could have been done.
That's fair. Well, I'll leave a lot out there. I feel like, and we'll do. Oh my gosh, Wonderland.
That's a good one. You heavy on the 1989 Deluxe.
Yeah.
All right.
There's still a lot of good ones leaving on the table. I feel like it's another Drake thing.
I'm very torn between my last two because
Just say them both.
I don't want to do that.
Why? I don't have another pick.
Oh,
I don't have another pick. It's literally the last pick.
That's fine. What if I just never told you?
That would make me sad.
Okay. With the 20th pick,
So this is okay.
I am officially going to take The Last Time. The one I was torn between that one with was All You Had to Do Was Stay.
That's what I thought you were gonna take.
I hate when she goes, stay. That part's so aggravating. But like the rest of it's kind of catchy. All right, well.
No more comments.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it. How You Get the Girl, I think, is an honorable mention.
In terms of song title?
Sure, but also I had that as number 19.
Okay.
I think could have been drafted.
Keep going. Other honorable.
So I thought "Stay, Stay, Stay." I had definitely heard that one before. It feels like a holiday song.
It really does, yeah.
Like it's gonna be on like ABC Family. Some commercial. I liked "Treacherous."
Yep. Come on with it.
"Starlight" was pretty solid. There's a lot of songs on here.
There really are. I think there was like 35 total if you don't do like the acoustic versions.
Yeah.
I had "Holy Ground" is another one on there.
Mm-hmm.
I Almost Do, and then "This Love." But those were some honorable mentions.
Has taken it so long.
That's the only song I have in my head when it comes to "This Love." Other song titles that were trigger words or enticing, especially considering you haven't listened to these albums, and like I guess upon first exploring these, which ones did you go to? Do you just pick the album start to?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't actually click based on the like song title.
Nah, I want to listen to it, especially since I haven't heard it before in the order that she wanted it to be heard. So, how about this? Well, let's okay. "Bad Blood's" a great song title because it could be like when you just hear the title "Bad Blood," you don't know what kind of song it's going to be. But it turns out it ends up being like this
upbeat, yeah.
Like it's got an 808 on it or something like that. So "Bad Blood's" a good one. "Begin Again's" a pretty good song title. "Sad, Beautiful, Tragic" is probably the best one.
Oxymorons. "How You Get the Girl" is like, yo, I don't know.
How do I get the girl?
Yeah, I was waiting for her to tell me.
Finally.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And especially because she has such a big, like, a lot of women, girls, ladies, females follow Taylor. And they relate to her. You're like, okay, well, if they're being influenced, then if they believe this is how you get a girl, then let's just take all the advice from how you get the girl.
Let me take out my notepad.
Yeah.
What about, what's your answer to your own question?
Yeah, I think those still stuck on those all the way back to like, I think it was Kanye when we first really, the cold like trigger words. I mean, "Treacherous." "Starlight" was kind of interesting one too. And then let's see. "Out of the Woods" was interesting. As well as yeah, well, those "Bad Blood" was a good one too.
Okay. Well, let's recap our rosters. So I had the first pick. So my order was "Shake It Off," "Blank Space," 22, "Style," "Everything Has Changed," "Red," "Out of the Woods," "Welcome to New York," "Begin Again," and "The Last Time." Yeah.
All right. And I went with "I Knew You Were Trouble," "We Are Never Getting Back Together," "Bad Blood," "Wildest Dreams," "All Too Well," "New Romantics," "Clean," "Sad, Beautiful, Tragic," "Wonderland," and "State of Grace."
All right. I neglected to talk about my "put it in my ears" moment.
Oh, yeah. What was that for you?
So it's the bridge on "Everything Has Changed." So it's Taylor and Ed are harmonizing, and they're like, "Come back and tell me why I'm feeling like I've missed you all this time, and meet me there tonight and let me know that it's not all in my mind." Like that end part, because Ed goes a little high on it, and Ed's pretty good.
Get this man a deal.
Ed's good. I also liked when Ed first shows up, and he's like,
and just shows up.
Yeah,
He's like,
hello,
hey.
I'm Ed. No, he talks about what's the lyric? Something about all my walls stood tall, painted blue, but I'd take them down, and open up the door for you. It's like he just comes in hot, and and I love the meaning behind it. Is like he's put up walls and they're blue because it's like he's been hurt so much that he just puts up the walls, which I mean, we can relate to that pretty easily.
Yeah, it's out of the hurt that you've put these walls up, and so it's like that's why it's giving it the characteristic of blue, like these blue walls. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. What's your put it in my ears moment?
I don't know if there's one specific. For me, it's like I put down I knew you were trouble, just like the chorus. Trouble. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to me, when it comes more so to Taylor, it's not like I don't think she's gonna have like the craziest like beats or something like a Drake.
There's no
Pound Cake.
Donda.
Yeah, no Donda moment, something like that. I think it's really she's such a gifted songwriter that I actually pull up the lyrics and we'll go through and read them, and that's probably where I'm more drawn to.
Mm-hmm. Honorable mention to the chorus of The Last Time. Really good. That almost was my answer, but it's an honorable answer.
Overrated.
I was just about to, okay, so this is interesting. I mean, Shake It Off is probably the answer to this. But in terms of ones that are highly rated that I actually full-blown hate is Welcome to New York.
Has it just been overplayed for you?
Yeah, it's aggravating. Okay. Welcome to New York. Oh, it makes me want to never go to New York.
It's such an upbeat song.
Yeah, that's why it's aggravating.
Okay, okay, that's an interesting point then. If it's like a normally these what was most overrated for Drake? It's the motto. Okay, we said the motto and start from the bottom. It's funny because a lot of these there's going to be a theme. I feel like hold on, what was Travis Scott's most overrated? Sicko Mode.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There it seems to be lining up as a theme is like really upbeat songs, and it's like not every moment in life is built for this. Like there are songs built for certain moments in life, and not every moment is a like uppity up or like a hype moment, and it's draining honestly to listen to that. I think is maybe some better words for what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yes. It's exhausting.
Exhausting, yes.
What about most underrated for you?
Underrated. Okay, so I, as normal, will unhide it real quick because I don't like to. I know it's still there. It's still there. It's not moving. Spotify playlist plays. I try to hide them for you just so we can come back to this when we're doing the draft stuff. But look at this. Sad, Beautiful, Tragic is her 32nd most played song out of 35. That makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
So, yeah, that's probably my most underrated. Just a sad boy, e-boy. Yeah, I think that's the most underrated.
So, All Too Well's number 11?
Yeah.
Oh.
But you literally had top two. You were right.
Oh, well. So, well, then I guess I can't say All Too Well. It's too high. So, what I would say then is The Last Time is probably the most underrated for me because I think that song is awesome, and it's number 22.
2 out of 35, yeah.
So it's middle of the road song in terms of plays from these two albums, and it deserves to be played more. It's like sad, but I don't know. But I also really vibe with it.
I hear you. Yeah. What other? You have any other closing thoughts on Taylor?
Well,
her as an artist.
So that something you brought up that is I agree with when you're coming. It talks about like the put it in my ears moment is that with her, it's not like there's this like a Donda moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's all lyrics that you want in your ears, not necessarily like the sound is. It was a little different because trying to find that during this one was pretty hard.
Amen.
But lo and behold, I found it. So, so you know what I thought about was so Taylor Swift. I brought up Stromile Swift.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, he played for the Grizz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you also know that from the NBA Finals runner-up Phoenix Suns, there's a guy by the name of Cam Payne who, Memphis Grizzlies. Cam Payne actually played high school basketball in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
You did know that?
Yeah. Unless if it's Cameron Payne, then yes, I do.
It is Cameron Payne. It's Camera Payne.
Camera Payne. Oh man, hehe's flashy with it.
Oh
goodness
man,
gracious, that's smooth.
Man, I don't even have anything else to say about
it. That could be just it. Mic drop. We're out of here.
Yeah. All right. Well,
cut it out.